Ever wondered how the mighty Roman Empire emerged from the ashes of the Roman Republic? Well, let me take you back to the year 27 before the Common Era. It was then that the first Roman emperor, Augustus Caesar, took the reins of power. He had a vision, a dream of restoring the Roman Republic, and he did just that. Not only did he breathe life back into the Republic, but he also ushered in an era of peace, a time known as Pax Romana. Augustus was the first, but he was far from the last. A succession of emperors followed in his footsteps, each leaving their distinct mark on the history of Rome. Some, like Augustus, were benevolent and wise, steering the empire with a steady hand. Others, however, were as unpredictable as they were tyrannical. Take Caligula, the third emperor of Rome. His reign was marked by a bloodthirsty and unhinged temperament, making him the first Roman emperor to be assassinated. Then there was Nero, a man whose name has become synonymous with tyranny. His extravagant lifestyle drained the Roman treasury, and he had a habit of murdering anyone who dared to question him. However, the Roman Empire was not just about individual emperors. It was about the collective strength of its people, their ability to adapt, and their unyielding spirit. The Flavian dynasty, which followed the reigns of Caligula and Nero, saw the construction of the Colosseum, the restoration of the Senate, and a renewed focus on public welfare. Emperor Trajan, who ruled from 98 to 117 of the Common Era, expanded Rome's borders to their greatest extent in history. He achieved victories over the kingdoms of Dacia and Parthia, showcasing the might of the Roman army, a force revered as the best in the world. And thus began the reign of a series of emperors, each leaving their distinct mark on the history of Rome. The Roman Empire, in its grandeur and might, was a testament to the resilience of its people and the strength of its leaders. What made the Roman Empire so successful, you ask? Well, it all begins with the Roman army, a force of discipline and training that was second to none. Imagine a battalion of men, meticulously drilled and rigorously trained, their red cloaks billowing in the wind as they march in perfect harmony. This was the Roman army, a force that grew to become the most formidable military machine of the ancient world. Their victories were not just feats of military prowess, but strategic masterstrokes. Take, for instance, Emperor Trajan's reign from 98 to 117 BC. His astute leadership led to the expansion of Rome's borders to their greatest extent in history, conquering the kingdoms of Dacia and Parthia. But the Roman Empire was not just about conquest, it was also about consolidation. The empire grew so vast that it eventually had to be split into two separate entities, the Eastern and Western Roman empires. This division was not just geographical, it reflected the diverse cultures, languages, and traditions that Rome had assimilated into its fold. And let's not forget about the tax system. With new territories came new subjects, and these newly minted Roman citizens were required to pay taxes to their new masters. This taxation not only ensured the empire's wealth, but also its stability. It was a system that was as efficient as it was effective, contributing to the empire's prosperity and longevity. So, to answer the question, what made the Roman Empire so successful? It was a combination of military discipline, strategic leadership, cultural assimilation, and a well-structured tax system. These factors, working in harmony, enabled Rome to expand its influence over 3 continents: Asia, Africa, and most of Europe. Their military prowess and strategic governance allowed Rome to expand its influence over 3 continents. But the Romans were not just conquerors, were they? No, indeed, they were much more. The Romans were pioneers in numerous fields, pushing the boundaries of what was known and possible. Their contributions in engineering, technology, and ethics have left an indelible mark on our world, still echoing in the modern era. Let's take a closer look at their engineering feats. The Romans were adept builders, their architectural prowess evidenced in the enduring structures that still stand today. One remarkable example is the Roman road network. It was not just a means of getting from point A to point B. These roads were vital to the maintenance and development of the Roman state. They provided efficient means for the movement of armies, officials, civilians, and trade goods. Built with precision and an understanding of gradients, they were a testament to the engineering acumen of the Romans. But it wasn't just roads that showcased their engineering prowess. The Romans were masters of cement and concrete, using these materials to construct lasting buildings. They even developed sophisticated underground sewage systems, a feat that demonstrated their understanding of public health and urban planning. In terms of technology, the Romans were no less innovative. They introduced the Julian calendar, a system that, with a few tweaks, is still in use today. They developed safer surgical tools and procedures, advancing the field of medicine. And let's not forget the invention of bound books, a revolutionary concept that transformed the way knowledge was stored and shared. The Romans also made significant strides in the realm of ethics. They established laws promoting morality, tackling issues like infidelity to improve family life. These laws were not just about controlling behavior, they were about creating a society where respect and honor were held in high esteem. So yes, the Romans were conquerors, but they were also builders, inventors, and philosophers. They were not just interested in expanding their territories, but also in enhancing the quality of life within their empire. The Romans were pioneers, their contributions still echoing in the modern world. So, what led to the collapse of this mighty empire? It's a question that has intrigued historians for centuries. The fall of the Roman Empire wasn't the result of a single event, but rather a combination of several key factors that gradually weakened Rome's foundations over time. One significant factor was the decline in the military. The Roman army, once renowned as the world's best fighting force, began to lose its edge. A decrease in discipline, lack of training, and reliance on foreign mercenaries who had little loyalty to Rome all contributed to a less effective military. This decline left Rome vulnerable to invasions and unable to maintain the vast territories it had once conquered with ease. A second blow came with the ban on slavery. Rome's economy had been heavily dependent on the labor of slaves. With the abolition of slavery, unemployment soared, and the government struggled to distribute resources effectively. This economic instability only added to the growing list of Rome's problems. Then came the rise of Christianity. This new religion posed a threat to the traditional Roman beliefs that had held society together. Emperors were no longer viewed as gods, and the moral authority of the empire was called into question. As more and more people converted to Christianity, the unity of the empire began to crumble. Lastly, the government itself became its own worst enemy. Corruption was rampant, and political disputes often escalated into deadly power struggles. The empire, once a symbol of order and stability, was now marked by chaos and conflict. In the end, it was a perfect storm of internal decay and external pressure that led to the fall of the mighty Roman Empire. The decline was slow and painful, with the Western Roman Empire officially falling in 476 AD, marking the end of an era. A series of unfortunate events and decisions led to the fall of the once mighty Roman Empire. This powerful civilization, which had once stood as the epitome of power and progress, ultimately succumbed to its own flaws and the relentless tide of history. The Roman Empire fell, but did it really disappear? This question invites us to delve into the enduring legacy of this once mighty civilization. While the physical empire may have crumbled, its influences continue to permeate our modern society in myriad ways. Let's start with architecture. The Romans were master builders, and their innovative use of concrete and the arch allowed them to create structures of impressive scale and beauty. Today we see echoes of Roman architecture in our cityscapes, from the domes of our government buildings to the arches of our bridges. The Romans also gifted us with the concept of urban planning, including the implementation of a grid system for their cities, a concept that's still widely used today. Next, we have the Roman legal system. Much of today's legal principles and practices have their roots in Roman law. The principles of equity, the presumption of innocence, and the right to face one's accuser all spring from the Roman legal tradition. As a testament to its impact, Roman law continues to form the basis of civil law in many countries around the world today. And then, there's the Roman language, Latin. While no longer spoken, Latin lives on in the Romance languages of French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian, all of which evolved from the language of the Romans. Not to mention, Latin is still used in the scientific, medical, and legal fields, and it's the official language of the Roman Catholic Church. In the realm of government, the Romans pioneered the concept of representative government, a foundation of many modern democracies. They also introduced the concept of checks and balances, a system that prevents any one branch of government from becoming too powerful. The Roman Empire's influence extends beyond these tangible aspects. It's in the way we think, the way we solve problems, and the way we view the world. So while the Roman Empire may be long gone, its spirit continues to shape the world in which we live. The Roman Empire may have fallen, but its legacy lives on, etched in the annals of human history.